Grafting is a great technique when you want to join at the top or bottom of a piece of knitting along the row. You create a fake row of knit stitches with your yarn and needle. If you want to join two side seams, then I would usually do that with mattress stitch. So I start by looking for the very end stitch on this side, and I come up through the middle of the stitch right at the top. Pull that through, leave enough to sew in the end. And then on this side, I want it to look like a stitch this way up, the right way up from this point of view, and I want to go through both legs of the stitch. So there we go. There's one around there, but that will make our stitch look the wrong way up. So half a stitch in, go through the very end. And then back down on this side, in where the yarn came out, and then back up through the middle of the next stitch. It's a bit easier to see as we're not right on the very end. Those bits out of the way. Pull that there, and you can see our first stitch, fake stitch, formed. So again, back to the other side, in where the yarn came out through both legs of the stitch, out under the entire stitch, pull again, and it's just the same thing. On this side, in through the centre of the stitch, out through the centre of the next stitch along, and then on the top, out where it came in, under the entire stitch, and pull through. So if I do a few more of those, so then you can start to see that it just looks like a fake row of knitting. On the back, obviously there's a bit of a seam. It's not quite as neat and tidy as mattress stitch, but it's not looking too bad. If I just go through with the blue on the other side, you can see how nicely it matches up. So again, the same thing. I'm looking to come up the middle of the very end stitch here. And on this side, so I'm going through half a stitch in and up and under a leg. So if it were this way up, you're doing the same thing. You're going through the centre of the stitch and up through the centre of the next stitch along. So of course the effect on this way around is just makes the stitches look as if they're continuing in a row. So then we go in where the yarn comes out, up through the middle of the next stitch. And you can see it produces a really neat seam.